All right, and we're back. So next person that we need to recap is Eli.
Yo.
Hey,
Oh,
so
am
Save
I
the best
going?
for last, I
What?
see.
yeah, tell us about
So
your
my name is
campaign.
Eli. Sorry, my character is his name is Dagg. I won't tell you his last name yet. His name is Dagg. He's a Minotaur from, if you remember, Ben City. Is it Nabia?
Ben is Nabia, yes.
All right. So I'm from the inside of the city. My dad is like a blacksmith, and he has a very loving relationship with my mom. And they're all
Very.
Minotaurs. My dad's very they're both very overtly sexual about their relationship, very open. And they're just very prideful people, prideful of
No, is he good, Eli?
Oh no.
I like how
huh?
his connection been
That
fine
phrase
until
was
he has to
funny.
talk. You cut out for a second there. What were you saying?
Oh, the my parents are very prideful about their Minotaur, blood and like what they've accomplished in their life and stuff. And then they had me. They are very open about how much they
They were
like
happy,
to have
and then
kids.
I came along.
Yeah, and no, they're just very happy people. And my dad, being the blacksmith, he liked that he had a son, and he raised me as a blacksmith. I was intrigued in that, and I saw a lot of strangers growing up, and I tried to know a little bit
You're
about
Russian.
weapons.
Yeah, your
Oh yeah,
dad's trained you as a
my dad's
blacksmith.
he has very Russian accent. I guess you could say that's a Minotaur accent in this universe. I don't know. But yeah,
All Minotaurs are
I
Russian.
yeah, all Minotaurs are Russian, no exceptions. And whatever it's called. We I was very drawn to weaponsmithing and like pride and like I was emulating my father as I'm growing up and being like him. And I was asking my dad like, so what is me as like a minotaur? What do I do with my life? And he's like, you go fight monsters and you kill things and you adventure and you make a name for yourself. Because the thing about minotaurs is they're not born with a last name. They just have their parents give them a first name and they go do something important that is their last name. Their important thing in their life is the last name. So it was like you got to go first thing when you reach maturity, go find your last name. So he started signing me up for what is it called? Like monster
uh,
hunting
Adventurers
or
Guild.
something.
like
Adventurers Guild.
yeah, and also I think
And
you have a little brother at this point.
yeah, I
Dude,
and I'm like ha 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 little brother tiny. So I try to is it handshake him
Uh,
before I go after my
yeah, and you try
adventures?
to
I
yeah.
like
give him
aggressive. No, this is after your adventure.
Is it
I
after?
think maybe.
I think it's both. I think
He
there's
doesn't
more
have
than
a
one
he
time.
doesn't have a broken hand
Yeah, no, you
during
didn't
your
have a broken
adventures,
hand during
so
your adventure.
Okay. So, during this is a crazy adventure.
make a
I only have
weapon.
two. I only have. Oh yeah, I made a weapon. Sorry if I'm skimming over everything.
It's okay.
I made a weapon with my
It was
father
a
made me a
shitty
weapon, and he
axe.
was like, "You can always come back to the shop, but you're gonna have to start paying for yourself the more you get older, and being more self-sufficient." And I was like, "Dang,"
And
but
then
it's whatever.
you were also like 9 years old.
Yeah, and then Minotaurs mature when they're 20 years old, and my dad started telling me to go kill stuff when I was 9 and 10 because my dad's very, very prideful and everything. So,
Right.
started going out, I don't remember. Is this time for my first adventure yet?
Um, there was two siblings, and yeah, I think you're going to your adventure, and
Okay.
your dad slowly phased you out of being a blacksmith for your little brother.
Yeah, and
Bad. You're
that kind
really
of.
bad. You're awful at it. You're just terrible.
Oh yeah, I have terrible rolls with being a blacksmith. I make the most lumpy, bumpy, pimply metal, and it's just not going well. So my dad slowly, without even, being mean, just shifts me like, "You're not working anymore," and makes it to where my little brother starts working.
Bitch.
That's a pretty big blow to confidence. So I take a weapon I made, and I start going to like signing myself up to go to bounties and like, "There's a monster in the forest. Go take care of it." And
Well, your dad
one of
signs you up
these
for the first
things
one.
he signs me up for the first adventure. And do you remember what the adventure was? I remember where it brought me, but like what the
It was
quest was.
They're
like
cannibals kidnapping people.
yeah.
Go kill the cannibals.
Yeah, go kill the horrible cannibal cult in the woods. So I set off into the woods with these people. There was a bard, I think. Don't remember their names. And then there was a really big, meaty dude who was like really stupid. Do you remember their names, Riley?
Let me see. I don't think I have their names right with me right now. Sorry.
I remember a
No,
funny
you're good.
moment that happened.
What was the funny moment?
Oh yeah, they're desperately trying to make a fire. They try everything, and then they ask the big stupid meathead if he had matches, and he had matches the whole time.
Yeah, we literally for like half a day we're literally starting to go exhausted because we can't start a fire with the stuff around us because this is our first adventure.
Yeah, and also
And we
the big guy is like kind of weird towards animals. He wants to pet them, but
Oh,
he kills
yeah.
them every time.
And since I'm a minotaur, he like was naturally attracted, since I'm an animal, kind of half animal, half human, he like pets my head and then starts like like gets like attracted to it. And I kind of think he has a thing, and there's evidence later in the story that he has like it's kind of like Cameron, like a thing for animals. And yeah, so that's pretty weird. And as we go on to I think it's when I woke up. Oh, I remember one of their names. Wasn't one of their names Michael?
yeah,
That
the
was
smaller one
Bard.
was Michael.
The smaller
Michael
bard
Ashton?
guy, he was very jovial and making songs. He didn't really want to do this, but he kind of had to because of like his father or something. And we woke up and we did not know where he was. He was just gone in the morning. And it was getting really weird, and like the environment of the forest was just very foggy and unsettling. And then we started hearing stuff shifting around, and I like walked forward. Wait, was the big strong dude also like not with me anymore?
I
Wasn't I
forget.
alone?
I forget.
I think that's what it was. I was alone. I woke up alone. No one touched me. And all of my companions had been just completely disappeared. So I walked through the forest to the noise because I heard noises, and I stumbled across hundreds of people in the forest just completely naked and super dirty. And there was
So the
horrible
other two
things
died.
everywhere. Yes, the cannibals had killed both of them. I like found their head on the side of the head on the side of the road, and their body was being cooked and ripped apart in the camp. And when they saw me, I didn't want to be super confrontational because there's literally hundreds of people. So I just kind of chilled out and like surveyed the situation. And they took me in as a cow, like a farm animal. And they don't, since they're cannibals, they don't eat animals. They liked me as a pet, and they just observed me. And the leader of all this came down and talked to me. He like had scars and like black stuff all over him. And he talked to me, and I thought it was very strange. So I just talked back to him, and he was like, "Wait, you can talk?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You're a very good animal, very smart animal. We like animals here. Just don't do anything weird." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, because
So that
his whole
nighttime,
point was he hates humans for like evolving and like getting smarter and using tools and stuff. He thinks that everyone should just chill out and be like the animals. And that's why he didn't capture you, because you were just some stupid animal, he thought.
yeah. I don't know if he's got like a race problem against animal beings, but he just thinks animals are better, simpler. So he didn't do anything to me. Well, that night, it's a cow. I'm a minotaur. I sort of snuck out. I just stepped
Well,
over my pen,
did you
and
talk about the when you met his son?
oh, those people,
Uh
like the people who can't talk good.
yeah, well, you met his son and he was like crying and stuff.
Oh yeah. So this whole time, like all the hundreds of cannibals in the camp just can't speak. But at night, his son was like watching me, or something, and he started being like, he was in his trance, and then he randomly went like, "You gotta help me! They got us locked up here!" And he was like freaking out, getting super like fanatical, and then he snapped out of it and just started mumbling again. And it was really weird. So I tried to investigate that as the night went on. And eventually I snuck out of my pen and I looked at this big bone throne. Like this throne with like it was the dude from earlier, the leader guy. He was sitting on a throne and he was just completely still, like not doing anything. So I'd pretty much realized at this point, because of context clues, that this guy might have captured all of these people and like brainwashed them or something, or forced them to stay because of like a power dynamic. So I took my bullhorns and I rushed into him because I thought he was the only thing stopping me from leaving this place. And when I rushed into him, he immediately woke up out of his trance and did some little dying monologue like, I thought you were just an animal. And all of the people, instead of being these dumb cannibals, they just turned back into normal people. And they were like crying and like basically that dude that I killed was a huge into dark magic, and he was controlling all of these people. And it was really sad and really unfortunate, but I stopped him and so I could go free, but there's just hundreds of people naked in the forest. So I gave him a little speech like, go home, you're good now. And I wanted to walk home now because I just saw everyone I knew get killed and hundreds of cannibals free in the forest, and I was so weirded out. So as I was going back home to Nabia, I noticed like a little thing on my hand. It was like a purple, it was like a pimple of kind of sorts. And I didn't really care about it at first, but it started spreading down my arm. And that was that. I didn't really mind much of it until now we get to the next day. I'm back at my house. I wake up and my dad's like, yay, you did good. And I've already got compensated for this whole journey. And yeah, I did good. My dad's pretty proud of me for actually doing something for myself. I still don't have a last name yet because I didn't really do much besides kill one guy. And I start getting really scared because this purple thing is going down pretty much my entire forearm at this point. And so I asked my dad
And
about it. I'm like,
little side plot is throughout this you did break your hand from shaking.
oh yeah,
your
I
brother's
shook
hand.
my little brother's hand and squeezed when I got back from my adventure because I wanted to like prove I'm better than him and like an older brother.
Yeah.
And he apparently was stronger than I thought and shattered my other hand that wasn't purpley and infected. So I tell my dad about all of these, like, I'm infected, my hand's broken, what do I do? And as the good father he is, he said, don't worry about it. Minotaurs live. You good. Monkey survive. And so nothing came of that. He just didn't tell me to do anything. So, I mean, I'd been around the town my whole life. I knew there was healers. So I went to a church and
Egg
he didn't
Chapel.
really, it was like a chapel, yeah. And he was like, hey, I can heal your hand, but it's gonna cost you some money, like your broken hand that I got from shaking my brother.
Yeah.
And it would cost me like a lot of the gold from that quest I did, but I wanted to live, so I gave it to him. And then he looked at my arm, my other arm with the purple infection going down, and he was like, oh god, there's like, I can't do anything about this, you need to leave right now. And the priest sort of ushered me out after healing me.
Yeah.
And it was really,
Yeah, okay, after that, didn't you get like a job and you had to leave the job for a little bit and like figure out what was going, cuz the voice in your head started. Like he was like taking over your body.
So as this infection kept growing in my arm, a voice in my head started speaking to me like the end is near and like stuff like that, just like really ominous stuff.
Yeah, because he
it.
was like telling you he's gonna take control over your body in like a week's time or like 2 weeks.
And I was just getting so frantic that as I was healing my broken hand, I really wanted to figure out what was going with this purple stuff. I couldn't figure anything out, and it kept threatening me. And the voice kept telling me my time was coming. And the priest actually said, don't come back here because we don't like that purple thing in your arm. I can give you a little hint though. You didn't hear this from me. There's a witch. She deals in black magic, which we usually don't like at the church. She's in this part, and and he pointed on my map where the witch was. It's deep in the forest. It's like a couple miles out, and there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the forest outside of Navia. So yeah, the priest said, if you want to figure out stuff about your hand and black magic, just go over there. Don't come back to the church about it though. We don't like you. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. And oh, I remember how I was getting my money. Before I tried figuring out about my hand.
Remember when you went to jail?
Where I'm going with this. I was trying to figure out about my hand, and I went to the library to try to read about curses and stuff. And the only place in the library that dealt with curses was in like the scholar's chamber. It was locked behind doors, and there was a guard protecting like that door. And I tried threatening the guard by slamming my axe into the floor, and I got arrested. And this only gave more time for my sickness to grow. And it was just an all-around bad situation, and I was getting really stressed out. But once I got out of jail, I set off to the forest, and yeah, I was just there was bugs everywhere in the forest. I even like slapped a bug and it splurted everywhere on me. It was a gross and really uncomfortable environment.
Yeah, there were
And the
giant
voice in my head
mosquitoes.
finally, yeah, giant mosquitoes. And the voice in my head finally said, "All right, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm taking control of your body, and you will cease to exist." And I was like, "Damn." But then in the horizon, a old woman starts cackling, and I hear her, and I approach her, and I see a hut with smoke coming out of it, and an old woman, and I holler at her, and she goes, like, "Who dares speak at me?" I was like, just a lonely minotaur looking to survive. And I tell her about my situation, and she says, "I will be of service to you as long as you do one thing." And I said, "What?" And she said, "Give an old woman a kiss." So I get a really good roll. I give a wonderful kiss, slobbery, beautiful. And as I kiss her, she gets like blown away, literally, and she turns back into a beautiful woman. She's not an old, decrepit mold witch anymore. She's like a beautiful 20-year-old woman with like a witch outfit on now. And she was like, "That was just a test, to see the good heart. Anyways, what do you need?" I showed her my hand. She was like, "Oh yeah."
Anyways, what do you need?
Yeah, and I was like, I showed her my hand. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna die tomorrow. There's this dude talking to me, and I'm kind of scared. Can you help me?" But I was like really frantic. I was like, "Help me out, man!" And she was like, "Sure. That's just a simple curse." Yeah. I can do that for you. I'm kind of lost here. Did anything else happen before the?
Well, it wasn't the next day you would die. It was like, I think you still had like a week or two.
Yeah, I was almost dead though.
Yeah, you were almost dead.
Yeah.
And the witch, you decided. Sorry, what, Davis?
I was just gonna say, like, while she was prepping, like, some way to break the spell, you learned a new language or
Oh
something.
yeah, you read her
Like,
books.
you were researching her books, and you learned a new language.
I
I don't
was
remember what it was.
I was staying at her hut while she was preparing this like ritual where she would rip this curse out of me. And I was read her books, and I learned about her tools and stuff. And I think I learned Celestial because she had some Celestial books lying around, which is like the language of the gods or something. And it just interested me.
Yes.
And yeah, I learned that. I learned some new tools. I just think it's like potion making stuff. I don't know. I'm not extremely good at it or anything, but I know some
Brewery.
skills.
Yeah.
Brewery.
So yeah, she makes the potion.
She makes the potion, and she's like, "All right, it's time to do this ritual." Is this where the
But,
part comes in?
Yeah, this is where that
but
comes
in
in.
case it doesn't work, you don't want
In
to die
case it doesn't
virginally.
work, we need to do something. You're only 18. That's pretty young for a minotaur. You know, almost an adult, but not there yet. If you die in the ritual, because that's a huge possibility, it's like a major chance. Do you want to die a virgin? And I was like, "No, I don't want to die a virgin. What are you
Oh.
implying?" And she, of course, was implying, "Let's do it." So We let's did it. Natural 20. I literally, I did it so well. Literal natural 20. She was paralyzed. I'm not even kidding. She had to make me
She
get
was
a potion for
breathless.
her. A de-paralysis spell. Potion, whatever. Just to wake her up. And then she was like, that was pretty cool. Let's do the ritual. We did the ritual. And
I
the
think she
voice...
remained naked the whole time for it.
Yeah, she never put her clothes back on. But yeah, and then the voice in my head started freaking out in the middle of the ritual, being like, What are you doing?
No, no,
No,
no,
this isn't supposed
no,
to
no,
happen."
no.
Yeah. And then I was talking to him, but he was like, I got the spell broke. And it was this huge event because I could have died the entire time. Luckily, I didn't. And then I woke up and the purple thing was gone, but I felt like a surge of power in my body. And I was like talking to her, what is going on? Why do I feel so much power in me? Why do I feel so confident? And she was like, now that you broke your curse, you have leftover magic from the curse just left inside of you. And you can now control that if you choose to. And I was like, sick.
No.
And this is where I got my last name since my life was almost in danger. I am Dagg the Curse Breaker.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Woo!
I have like vultures all around me and like a aura or like a magical aura. And that's where I left off. I had a hot witch girlfriend. I have magic powers involving birds and black fire or something. I
Good.
don't really remember. And
Oh yeah, we spent like 2 hours after your campaign picking your spells.
Yeah, do you guys remember that?
yeah,
We spent like
Mhm.
2
That was
full
fun.
hours for him to choose.
I was practicing Genji on Overwatch the whole time.
yeah, I was really indecisive. But hot witch girlfriend, hot cool powers, hot cool life, hot cool wife. That's where I left off.
Nice.
I only had 2 episodes, so mine was not as long as Cameron's or Ben's.
Yeah, definitely not.